So maybe mention that as well, Carly. Right, well, go. I'm just sending you live, Carly, now. Okay, you're on.
Thank you for joining us this evening. It gives me really great pleasure to welcome you to our first official transition event for our new Year 7 cohort and to introduce myself as head teacher of Ilkley Grammar School. I'm Carly Pennell. Given that COVID numbers have been rising in the community and nationally, we thought it would be best to avoid a mass gathering with lots of different schools mixing. And whilst we would prefer to be speaking to you on site and in person, I think we've all probably become accustomed to working in this way over the last 12 months. That said, we hope it goes really smoothly, but we may get some technical hitches, in which case we will rectify those as quickly as possible. Despite the remote nature of this introductory evening, we do hope that it's informative and useful, and it allows you to put some names to faces as we introduce key colleagues who will be heavily involved in transition and students' pastoral care over the next few years. This evening is very much designed to be an introductory event, and there will be further transition activities, including a transition evening later on in the year for parents and students in July, where we will provide further details of our provision. Like I said in my welcome letter to parents and to students, I'm really confident your child is joining a fantastic school, and one that's not just going to provide an outstanding academic education. Of course, that's important in terms of challenging and supporting children academically, but also one that will provide a huge range of extracurricular enrichment and leadership opportunities. You probably expect me to say that, but I'm not just speaking as head of the school. I am speaking as a mum with children in years 9 and year 12 currently, as well as having an older child who moved from another school into IGS's post 16 and really did flourish here. You know, we are committed to supporting academic achievement, of course we are, but we want students to achieve their personal best, whatever that may be, and we're really committed to looking after their well-being and their mental health. In total, there were nearly 900 applications to IGS for this September. That reflects the popularity of the school and the high regard in which we are held in the community. But for further testimony to that, you can look on our website, in particular on the Our School part of the website, where you can look at the positive feedback from parents and the local community about our quality of provision and our amazing students, as well as, of course, the quality of remote education over the last couple of years and compassionate pastoral care. To our new Year 7 students, we cannot wait for you to join us as one of our new blue ties. You're likely to be the second biggest year group at IGS, with around 318 of you joining us in September. That figure may be bigger than some of your current primary schools in their entirety, but what that means is there's lots of new people for you to get to know, lots of new friendships to make on top of your existing friendships. We know some of you will feel a little bit nervous. That's absolutely normal and understandable, but we will help you feel settled. We'll work closely with your primary schools to get to know you in advance of September. Students, there's so much on offer at IGS. I'll talk to you in more detail about that closer to the time. So whatever your talents, whatever your interests, there'll be something for you here and opportunities to shine. They include, I think I've mentioned this at the open evening, but a much wider range of subjects than what you're used to. Lots of after school activities, for example, in sport, the creative arts, the performing arts, technology, computing, journalism, creative writing, opportunities to develop you as leaders and make a difference in the community, as well as trips and visits in England, but also abroad as well. We are, of course, an iPad school, and when you join IGS, your iPad becomes part of your school equipment, and we'll use a range of specialist apps to develop your knowledge and understanding, to engage you in your learning and enable you to work with your friends. It really is an exciting time. Now, Mr. Calvert, Assistant Head and responsible for Key Stage 3, has said that I can't speak too long. So before I pass on to Mrs. Hesse, who will be your new Head of Year for Year 7, I'd just like to say that we do look forward to working with you, getting to know you, and we see this as very much the start of what we hope will be a 7-year, very positive and very happy journey at IGS. So thank you, and I'll now pass on to Mrs. Hesse, who will just introduce herself.
Good evening. So I'm Lisa Hesse and I'm currently the head of Year 11. So I've been at IGS now for 4 years and I've taken my current year group right through from Year 7. So they started where you are starting. I absolutely love the school and all the staff, and I know that you will too. I will have the privilege of being your head of year in September, and I'm really excited about meeting all of my new students, and I cannot wait for our journey to begin at Ilkley Grammar School. I've nothing more to say at this stage. I can't wait to see you all, so I'm going to pass you on to Mr. Calvert. Thank you.
Take the mic off. Okay, can everybody see that okay? Carly, can you see it okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, welcome everybody. It's really lovely to speak to you all this evening, and it's really important, I actually think, for the parents and the young people that are joining the Ilkley Grammar School for the first time and don't have any older siblings that have ever been through the school. I've been at the school for a long time, and I am responsible for Key Stage 3. I'm the safeguarding lead, and I'm also responsible for transition as well. And I do see it as a big part of my job, making sure that that the young people that are sat there listening to this now and looking forward to join us in September have everything they need to be able to join us really positively when we start in September. So the whole part of this evening from my point of view is just to give you an idea of what's going to happen over the next few months. Just talk very quickly about the nature of the learning at Ilkley Grammar School and the personal best value statements that we have that run through the school, and also just please note these things down, but they are I have posted them on the Q&A feature here, and they were on the letter as well. We do have designated email box of transition@ilkleygs.co.uk for any questions that you have about the transition process. If there are any specific SEND questions, send the emails through to inclusivelearning@ilkleygs.co.uk. There's a real challenge actually in transition, and it's about bringing 318 children, some of which who are coming from very big primary schools and know each other, and also there are children that they're the only one that's joining us as well. And it is a major event. I think we can all remember moving from primary school to secondary school in our own lives. And what our job is to make sure that it's a very positive and stress-free experience, not just for the young person, but also for the family as well. And the key thing about transition is making sure that what we try to do is build on all the fantastic work that's gone on at primary school and build on relationships that have already formed, but also most importantly build new and long-lasting, even maybe lifetime lasting friendships for the staff and the pupils that are with us. I actually say to the young people when I first meet them, their friend for their rest of their life might be in the room when we meet them in July, and they actually don't know who that person is yet. And we do try and make sure that they recognise that joining a second school is a bit of a daunting experience, but it's also you know, looking on it really positively as a real opportunity to find new friendships. The government did a piece of work a few years ago now, and we try and use those guiding successful indicators to decide, you know, to try and hone our transition process, and that's, as it says there, develop new friendships, to improve self-esteem and confidence, settling well so there's no concerns to their parents, because I do understand that parents are moving from a small primary school as well to a big secondary school, and again that's a move that they need to feel comfortable in too. Making sure that we increase the interest in schoolwork and school itself, get to know new routines and school organisation with ease. Again, a lot of the questions that we get when we visit the primary schools are about organisation, but very quickly the students get used to our routines and soon find their way around a very busy, complex site, but they do sort of ease into it very quickly, and there's no concerns after a few weeks. And then the other thing is obviously to build on the amazing work that does go on in primary schools in the curriculum, and make sure there is continuity to that, and make sure that we avoid any learning dip. So actually build on in year 7 what they've done in year 6 and in year 5. And obviously we are really conscious this year, as our students have also been through the lockdown situation, and we've just got to work, doubly hard to make sure any gaps are filled. So just an idea of what's to come, and again, lockdown has brought some opportunities as well. This is the 3rd time we've done the launch event online now, but we do go and visit the students on their turf as such. We will send 3 staff down to the individual primary schools, and there's a sequence of those. When we go, we meet in their assembly hall, we have a presentation to do for them and a Q&A session with them as well. One of those sessions will be run online, so anyone that misses the event will be able to catch up on it. And what we also do, which is really lovely, is to take a couple of students that actually went to the primary school and are in our current year 7, and we take them back with us so they can visit the primary school, but also the young people there tend to know who those people are, and they ask them questions as well. So they're all happening after the spring bank holiday and running through the early part of the summer. I've been working on developing YouTube live sessions. I will make sure that I publish those dates for you. I tend to do a different sequence of sessions. I did 4 last year. They can be along the lines of using the iPad, safeguarding in school, organisation of the school, learning within the school. And what I tend to do is have those sessions as Q&A sessions, so you can ask any questions pertinent around those. And because it's on the YouTube platform, it gets recorded and you can watch it at a later date. The school YouTube channel has developed massively over the last 3 years because we really need to lean on it. Our students will be developing some new material. 2 of them were talking to me today, 2 girls in year 9 were talking to me today saying, can they help again to develop some material? There's a look round the school, there's how to pack your bag, there's how to do your tie, there's all sorts of videos on there, and we'll move those across and develop them as the year goes through. Our plan is to have the welcome day on Thursday the 15th of July, and that's the first opportunity for the students to get together for a sequence of familiarisation activities and meet their new tutor and also their new tutor group as well. Obviously, as we've said for the last 2 years, really, it's not actually happened that, so we'll have to wait to confirm that, and we will have a shut-off time where we let the primary schools know sometime at the end of June if we think it's going to be feasible or not. We really are hoping this year that we will get the students on site and to meet their new tutor group, but the last 2 years, current year 8 and current year 7, they didn't have a welcome day and they've managed absolutely fine. We just have to work doubly hard in September to build those teams as quickly as we can. On the same evening, as Mrs. Pennell has just said, there's a student welcome evening and a chance to hear a presentation from Mrs. Pennell and other members of the leadership team. The final details will be given then about the start in September and everything that you need. So there's lots to look forward to. I do really encourage you to join the YouTube line of events, look at the school website and the YouTube channel, and obviously look forward to the welcome day and welcome evening when they come around in July. we do have tie values in school, and these are the Year 7 tie values, and I hope you can see why they're so important to a Year 7 joining us, particularly things like organised, resilient, get involved. As Mrs. Pennell said, there's a huge range of extracurricular activities in school, and we really do want people to get involved with those. One of the things we do at the Roadshow event is actually ask the students to think about how they would demonstrate those things in their first half term at Ilkley Grammar School, because we do try and measure the students and give them opportunities to do all of those things, and they actually build on a sequence of tie values that work all the way through school, and you can see how the students change as we get all the way across the post-16, where they're looking at leaving the school at the top end of there and giving something back to the school, but also readying them for the 21st century in the next part of their life. They're underpinned by the 3 banners at the bottom there: being a successful student, being an excellent friend, and being an exceptional citizen. And actually the friendship one is so important in Year 7, and I do want the students to understand what we try and do is make sure that we build on good, positive friendships that are already built, but we also try and build new ones as well. The students will be in a tutor group of 28 children. There will be a mix of the different primary schools within there. And as I keep saying to the students, there are people that they're the only one that's joining Ilkley Grammar School, so we really must look after them. If you're from one of the big primary schools, you could be coming up with 60 or 70 other people, whereas if you're coming from one of the smaller primary schools, there may be just 2 or 3 or even just 1. And I do want the students to try and build into those tutor groups and actually look for real opportunities to find new friendships that can be lasting for life. I do actually say to the students, I met my only very good friend when I first went to transition, and he's still my friend some 40 years later now. So it does work, and we do try and really build on that and make sure the students see that. Clearly one of the most important things that we do in school is learning and making sure that the students have, excellent opportunities and excellent outcomes. And one of the things that happens in the July meeting is our curriculum deputy talks through in great detail about how the timetable works. And one of the sessions I do on YouTube, I try and kind of make sure that I show how learning works. But effectively what we want to do is prepare the students for life and work of the 21st century. And we do have an excellent record of developing fantastic, learners that leave, yes, with great academic qualifications, but also ready to work independently and collaboratively and creatively as they join universities, colleges, and into the workforce. The badge that they wear on their blazer really does carry weight. This is an excellent, outstanding school, and you do get an outstanding education when you come to us. One thing that Mrs. Pennell said is the iPad, and this is just a quick overview of that. One of the YouTube sessions will be on how we use the iPad in a bit more detail, but I've spoken to we do work with a partner organisation called Eden, and you'll receive an email tomorrow with a link to go onto the iPad portal. But effectively, this is what the iPad's given, and there are options within that offer, and you'll see those. It's highlighted really clearly in the email that you'll get tomorrow. But effectively, it's a 64 gig 9th generation iPad that we get with a protective case and the insurance and some security software that's called Jamf, that allows us to monitor the iPad and work with making sure that the students learn how to use an iPad as a learning device, because like lots of households, we're actually used to tablets now, and many people have their own within their their houses, but actually learning to use one as a learning device actually does take a little bit of time, and we work with the students on that. One of the Year 9 boys was coming to me today, and he does an overview of how the iPad is used for us every year, and he knew this was happening tonight, and he actually asked if he wanted me to come on this evening to present. I said, it's okay, we'll bring you on to one of the other events later in the year. But the work he does to show the Year 7s how to use the iPad is absolutely tremendous. The portal opens tomorrow when you get the email, and then the deadline is the 1st of July, please, for a guaranteed delivery of the iPad on the first day of term when we start in September. I actually took that picture a long time ago, but I do think it's one of the best pictures I've ever taken, really, about how the students use the iPad in the school, because it's not just, we don't just use them for you know, browsing the internet. They're actually an on-demand access to IT. The learning doesn't need to stop at the end of the school day. It really gives opportunities for student-led learning and challenging themselves, and you know, they get so good on them. They're actually much better than most of the staff sometimes. Flip learning, so you can actually get them to do some work at home and bring it in. You know, that sort of project work is so important. And then the two things at the bottom, those opportunities for quick assessment for learning. Again, there's so many apps out there now that allow us to do that. But also, and I think most importantly, actually, collaboration and communication with the teaching staff. You know, we really do try and work as an organisation where students do send emails to us. We do have some apps that are called workflow apps. One of them that you'll learn is called Showbie. It's a really important app for sending things through. We also have our rewards and sanctions system called Class Charts is on the iPad too, so the students can get those rewards directly to their iPad and see how well they're doing. I'm responsible for safeguarding across the school as well. There's a big team of pastoral workers that work in the Key Stage 3 team, and nothing is given higher priority in the school than safeguarding your child. I want it to be a partnership between the school and the families. And I just want to say at this stage, it's absolutely unconditional and without judgment to every individual and every entire family. It really is an important part of the school, and I take great pride in the safeguarding at Ilkley Grammar School, and I want you to feel really comfortable in how we look after your children from a pastoral point of view, and how we safeguard them as they move through from Year 7 all the way up to Year 13. We do have our own mental health service on site, which are called Place to Be. So if students are in need of any mental health support, we actually have trained counsellors on site as well that work with us. Alongside, we also work closely with West Yorkshire Police and have Safer Schools officers with us as well, and lots of other people. We've just got someone who works for the NHS who's working with us, called a social prescriber, and they're working really closely with us as well. So it's a big suite of safeguarding and pastoral systems that make sure everybody is able to live happily and successfully in Ilkley Grammar School. Just a few things just to remind you before we finish, if that's okay. There is, please email through by the 6th of June. Mrs. Pennell put in her letter about a modern language request, either Spanish or French. Some of our tutor groups are Spanish learning tutor groups and some are French learning tutor groups. If there is a specific and substantial reason, please can you email it through to the transition@ilkleygs.co.uk mailbox, and we will make sure that you are in a tutor group that matches that request. After that 6th of June, we will be able to meet any requests because the timetable will already be built then, and we won't be able to take them. I've posted today onto the school website something that's called the New Beginnings booklet. It's got lots of frequently asked questions and details about how the school works. Please pull a copy of that off the website for you. There's a section on Year 6 to 7 transition. That's where all the details will be posted of various letters and so on that we will send to you. But have a look at that New Beginnings booklet. It answers lots of questions that you may already have. Look out for the invites to the online events. They will be coming through shortly. And the iPad portal email that will come out tomorrow. Okay, and I've just realised, I've just been in a text then, that the welcome day is Thursday the 14th, not the 15th. My apologies, of the July. So my apologies for that. And then lastly, any questions, please send them through. Sue Varley, who's the Student Support and Transition Manager for Year 7, is actually already answering queries that are coming through for us. So send those questions through to the transition mailbox there, and we will do everything we can to answer them as quickly as we possibly can. If there are any specific SEND questions, please send those emails through to inclusivelearning@ilkleygs.co.uk. And from me, I really do look forward to meeting all of the new Year 6s. It's a real highlight of my year, actually, certainly meeting them in the road shows, and then also meeting them in person when they arrive with us in July, because that's a really special day when we meet you in your new tutor groups, and you can meet your new tutor. And then the best day is their first day in September, when they're all dressed in Ilkley Grammar School uniform, and they really do look part of a team then, and I can start building them as that really, exciting cohort of young people who are so ready for secondary school by then, and ready to learn. And it's so lovely for me to see them as they grow all the way through school, from being young children that have just joined us in Year 7 all the way up to young adults when they leave us in Year 13. So I look forward to meeting all parents as well, and I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please send them through to us, and we will do everything we can to answer them. We'll end this live event now, and then we'll just answer any questions that have come through on the Q&A. But I look forward to meeting you all very, very soon. Okay, thank you and goodbye.